Sam Altman's OpenAI announced on Wednesday that it is acquiring Jony Ive's AI devices startup for over $6 billion. Ben Bajarin, Crave Strategies, CEO and Principal Analyst, joins us now with more. Ben, it is great to see you as always. So let's start just big picture, Ben. You saw that headline. That is a big price tag. It's big personalities. Sam Altman, Jony Ive. Investors may be questioning what long-term could this mean for Apple. I'm just curious, longtime Apple watcher, longtime tech analyst. You saw that headline. What was your reaction, Ben? What'd you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody who's been tracking the space knew that there had been signals that OpenAI wanted to get into more hardware. So I think them, acquiring a team and obviously a set of visionary thinkers and engineers who can go and develop new what we just kind of loosely call AI hardware, AI first hardware. It's sort of a loose term, but these idea that a next generation of devices is going to be running on the back of these foundational models like OpenAI has, like Google has, et cetera. So I think it's smart. It makes a ton of sense. There's still obviously a lot of work to be done there. Just because you've got hardware expertise doesn't necessarily mean that you execute on it. But I think that the main point is OpenAI has one of the best foundational models out there, which I think is key to delivering an AI experience in hardware. So they've got all the right pieces, and they're adding to that with this acquisition.
And talk a little bit about, listen, part of the reason that headline drops and it gets so much attention is because it is Sir Jony Ive, right? And talk a little bit about that, because listen, people, maybe they don't follow Apple as closely. They don't know all the key characters and personalities and lieutenants. Jony Ive, so instrumental in so many of the products a lot of viewers probably have in front of them right now. You talk about the iPhone and watch, iPad, iMac. He was Steve Jobs' right-hand man. Just walk us through briefly, Ben, a little bit about Sir Jony Ive, his impact, his influence.
Yeah, I think he was a critical part of the design process, right? I think the entire team that was involved with a host of Apple products, and Jony Ive was a part of that, had a whole slew of perspectives, opinions on what makes devices elegant, what makes them useful, what makes them simple to use. And he was a key part of that team, right? And I think that's why, he's been sort of propped up as, with the role that he had within Apple, just to make the kind of devices that everybody loves and delights with from a hardware perspective. So obviously believing that this now combination with, Jony Ive and Sam Altman and that team, this now fusion of sort of next generation AI software and these leading edge models combined with the kind of hardware that people will want to use, right? Feel good about, having on their person, if these are glasses or pendants, whatever, shape they take. You got to make stuff that people, like and aren't ashamed to wear because it's ugly. And so he was a huge part of that, right? In designing hardware product and experiences that obviously helped fuel Apple to what it is today.
And Ben, when we look at the moves that OpenAI has been making recently, they've been hiring sort of on a bit of a hiring blitz, right? They hired the Nextdoor CEO as their CFO last year. They recently hired the Instacart CEO as, I believe, their chief product officer. Now there's the Jony Ive move. But what does all of this tell? It still takes a while to make hardware, right? It's not like they've hired him and that's it. What kind of timeline can we perhaps look for something like this?
Yeah, you're totally right. It takes a lot of time, and just look again, right, at how long Meta had been doing hardware, right, to get to a point where we saw some tipping curves of mass adoption, right? The glasses had been in works for a long time before they made it to market, and it was really the second generation of Meta Ray-Bans that moved to any kind of reasonable scale, with those now having sold over, a little over 2 million units. So there is a lot of time that goes into this. What we don't know is how far along OpenAI is already with prior concepts. If they've been trial and erroring in this for a while and they're closer than we know because of what they got hardware-wise, then obviously bringing more of these assets to the team can put them on a shorter timeline. I don't think they're starting from scratch where it would be longer, but I also think we got to look at the timeline for again, just let's look at what Google, showed yesterday with these kind of AI first glasses, whether they have a display or not, right? Like the Meta Ray-Bans that don't have a display, or some of the others that are being floated with a display. We're on the cusp of those starting to take off, fueled by your ability to talk to an AI agent, explore the world, let it see what you see, and have those interactions. that's the 12 to 18th month journey that we're on. You're going to see a whole host of those, whether OpenAI is in that or not. But I would say over the next 2 years, this space is going to heat up quickly, and we're going to see hardware innovation again with this AI first, sort of wearables hardware.
Really interesting stuff, Ben. Looking forward to continuing the conversation in the coming months as we get more news on this. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.